Most of us are wearing belts on a daily basis, but if you look around, a lot of guys make some very common mistakes. You only have to follow a few principles to avoid these mistakes. Specifically, we're going to talk about the right length, the width, the buckle, and the material and color of your belts. In terms of length, the perfect belt would end right between your first and your second belt loop. Anything shorter than the first belt loop and the belt is too short, anything longer than that and the belt is too large. And full disclosure, I made this mistake so much in the past. If I look at all my old belts, they're either way too long or way too short. So don't be like me, gentlemen. As a simple guideline, just add 2 inches to your regular pant width. So if you wear a size 32 pants, you would go for a size 34 belt. Now for the width, there's a simple rule to follow. Basically, the wider the belt, the more casual it is, and the thinner the belt, the more formal it is. And this is a very important rule, because when you're wearing, for example, jeans, you don't want to wear a thin dress belt. And when you wear a suit or anything that's a little bit more formal, you also don't want to wear a really wide belt. Both of these are pretty much going to ruin the outfit. If you just follow these steps, you already look better than most people out there. But let's move on now to the buckle and the materials. The buckle follows a similar principle, and basically the more subtle and small it is, the more formal it is, and anything large or bold is very casual. So if you dress up, you want to avoid anything that's very bold or very big. And there's another really important rule about the buckles, and that's basically that all of your metals should match. So if you wear a silver belt buckle, then all of your other pieces of jewelry ideally would also be silver. So whether that's your watch in silver, the metal on your notebook bag, or also your sunglasses, ideally all of them should be from the same color. And this is a very subtle thing, and most of us, we probably wouldn't notice, but if you wear some gold and some silver, it just looks a little bit off. It looks much more coherent when you stick to the same color in terms of the metals. And if you follow this channel, you know this is a budget-friendly dressing channel, and that's why I think most of us, we don't have gold watches lying around, silver watches for any belt buckles and any jewelry we have. So I recommend in the beginning, when you're starting out, to just focus on one color and stick to it. That's going to save you a lot of money. And I chose silver, so I have one watch that is in silver, my belt buckles are in silver, and anything else ideally is also silver. In terms of materials, leather, especially slightly shiny leather and very subtle and smooth leather, is the more formal option. When the leather is a little bit more rugged, or it's braided, or it's in suede, it's slightly more casual, but still very elegant. And then other options are also woven or braided belts that can be either from cotton, polyester, or any other materials. They are quite casual, they can look very good, but sometimes they also have a lot of patterns and everything. So always try to avoid wearing this with anything formal. You want to reserve those for anything quite casual. And here's a very important tip about the fabric and the color of your belts. And if you start from today and you start to look around and you become conscious of this, you are going to notice that a lot of people get this wrong. And that is that the color of your belt, and ideally also the texture, should always match your shoes. So if you're wearing dark brown shoes, the belt should also be in dark brown. If you wear dark brown shoes with a black belt, it just looks off. And the same is also true for the texture. And that's where it can get a little bit tricky. So for example, if you wear suede shoes, you want to have the same color and texture for your belts. If you wear a smooth leather belt with suede loafers, it just looks a little bit off. And I know this is where things get tricky and also a little bit expensive. And since this is a budget-friendly channel, I generally recommend in those cases where the belt doesn't exactly fit the shoes to just omit it. And I personally recommend to definitely have a dark brown and a black leather belt, because those will cover your basics, your essential shoes, which are usually in dark brown or black. And then anything from there is pretty much personal preference. I have this really nice flippable belt here from Charles Tyrowit, and I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but I just really like it because it's a way to basically minimize your wardrobe. It has a dark brown side, it has a black side, and you only have to flip the buckle, and basically you have 2 belts in one. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please leave a like and a comment, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.